So I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey. It really began during that first pregnancy with Morgan. You know, Todd and I were just 18, and we were extremely happy. We didn't have a concern about how we were going to care for her. We just knew we were going to make it work. And we set out to be just 100% in, and suddenly, during that time, I started focusing so much on making an impact and knowing that I was 100% a good mom that I started to lose sight of the things that I needed to do for myself so I could be the best person that I could be. I think that happens, it happens pretty naturally as a mom. And because of the younger age, I feel like I had a lot more pressure to prove that piece. Like, I really wanted people to know that I was a good mom. And it got to the point where it was like I needed to have carpet lines in my carpet every single day. Like, Todd was like, let her play with her toys. And I was like, oh, with the carpet lines. You know, it got to the point that dinner had to be on the table at the exact same time every single night. There wasn't a speck of crumbs anywhere, and every drawer was organized, and it was so over the top because I was this mom and this wife, and that was my job. I wanted to be perfect. And then I woke up one day, and I literally felt like I no longer recognized who I was. And it started on the outside. After I left the hospital with Morgan, I had the typical 20-pound weight gain, but then I just continued to gain. By the time she was 5, I was over 200 pounds, and I'm 5'2". So 200 pounds on a 5'2" frame is like a size 22 jean. And back then, they didn't have plus sizes at Target and Walmart. Lane Bryant was like the choice. Well, Todd's, starting his own companies. I'm going to college. We have this new baby. I was not able to shop at Lane Bryant. I wore a lot of men's baggy clothes. I started to really slip into a depression because I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I had felt completely insecure. I didn't want to be around my friends. And I explain it like you feel like you're breathing, but you're not living. Like, the world is spinning, but you just continue to go through the motions every single day. And I felt like a puppet in my own life. So at 85 pounds heavier, I was hopeless, I was lost, insecure. The word should dictated my life. I woke up every day with all the I should do this, and never once thought, what do I need? What do I need to do right now for me so I can get a hold of this situation? So when I talk about this body, I literally appeared to be the only one who was unhealthy in my family because I was obese. Todd was lean. Like most men, they maintain that figure in those younger years. It catches up, though. But Morgan, by the time she was 5, Todd and I, we would spend nights crying because she couldn't focus. She was like bouncing off the walls, jumping off furniture. We would find her like standing in a cabinet. If you would discipline her, it was all out temper tantrums. We'd put her in her room, and her room would be destroyed. She'd be flipping stuff over, and we're just like, gosh, do we need to medicate her? Like, what can we do? Like, we had to put ourselves in timeout. And what I didn't realize was the food that I was feeding her was causing a massive reaction in her body, and she couldn't control herself. We had tried every single method. We tried I read every book on the strong-willed child and talked to the pediatricians and did everything. Not one person told me to look at her nutrition. Not one. So the day that I transformed my life and took steps to start eating better, not only did my body change, but my daughter's life completely changed. She was a new kid, completely different. Mellow, well-attended, well-behaved. That girl has never given me a gray hair since the day she was 5. Now my other 2, just kidding. Todd had more energy. The bags under his eyes went away. He was better at his job. He had more patience. So when we see people walking down the street and we start to shrink because we're like, wow, they look really good in those skinny jeans and there's just no way I'm sticking a toe in those suckers because that's just not good. And you start admiring all these things about other people. What matters is how you live your life and the way you choose to value your vessel. Because I guarantee you, God is not standing up there going, yes, when you're giving away everything and you're not filling up your own bucket. He's saying you're missing the mark. I gave you a gift. I gave you a blessing. I gave you this light. And all you're doing is dismissing that and admiring everybody else's light. When ultimately, if you could just love your light and nourish that light and be that light, you will help everybody around you more than you could ever imagine. And it's really hard because we think selfish and self-centered, we're taught are the same thing, but ultimately they're completely different. Somebody who's selfish would skip her daughter's gymnastics meet to go to the gym and then get her nails done. That is not who I am. But somebody who's self-centered knows when stuff starts to veer off track and my life doesn't feel right, and I'm starting to go back into this pit and I want to wake up every morning and just throw my covers back over my head, I need to go back inside. I need to find quiet time. I need to meditate. I need to pray. I need to make sure I make it to the gym. I need to make sure my nutrition is on point, because when I hit all of those markers, all of a sudden I'm jumping out of bed. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm loving my life. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. So there's a huge difference. And remember, God wants you to be centered at all times so you can serve others. So I want to do a gap survey. At a scale of 1 to 10, you don't have to say it out loud. I want you guys to think about how much you value your personal health. You have to be completely honest with yourself. And then on that same scale, where do you feel your health is right now? There's no right or wrong answer, because when I started my journey, I was definitely a 1 in both areas. But the mistake that we all make is we think there's only a 1 and a 10, when ultimately we have multiple phases of 1 through 10. So life is literally climbing up a mountain, right? And your 10 is the absolute top. Like if you right now could envision your absolute best life, what does that look like? Well, the day I started my journey, my vision was I wanted to wake up every day and love my life. That was my vision. It was pretty vague, but that was the most I could absolutely at that time imagine. If you would have told me I'd be doing what I'm doing right now, there's no way in heck, no way I would have believed you. No way. You could not convince me of it. There's no way I could have seen this mountaintop. So as you're traveling along this journey, this is the most important part. Literally, we find our wings in the journey, not at the mountaintop. It's from all the lessons you're going to learn by creating a vision for your best life and taking actions to get to that 10. And then we get to that 10, we're at the top of our mountain, and we're peering down, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at how I've traveled, look at how I've grown. I have my wings, this feels amazing, this whole new life is in front of me. And you're just so happy, and all of a sudden, you turn around to peer the other way, and the fog starts to clear. And all of a sudden, you see the most beautiful mountain peak off in the distance. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need to set out. And all of a sudden, you're back at 1, and you're traveling to 10 again. And you just grow stronger and stronger and stronger. And life is literally mountain peak after mountain peak after mountain peak. And on your way to that mountain, you're going to hit valleys, you're going to hit mud pits. But if your vision at the end is strong enough, there's nothing that will stop you from getting there. So every journey has to have a vision, and And you have to keep resetting that vision as you grow and as you learn. So you're going to learn things you didn't even know you didn't know. That's the beauty of a journey. It opens your eyes to new possibilities. So we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the change it has gone through to find its wings. Again, when I was at a number 1 12 years ago, my 10 was not even near here. On a big old scale, I would have probably set my vision at 1.5 at that time. So never ever start without really taking time to say, you know what, I deserve this and this is what I want. And to know that this is a journey and it's going to be amazing and awesome with the pits and valleys as well. So my big first moment, I feel like it was yesterday, like I was in my closet. I had a walk-in closet, and at the end of the closet was this full-length mirror. And I'm standing there, and this was the first time I didn't look at my body. Because for 5 years, I've been looking at this body, and I was like, who the heck is that? Like, I felt completely trapped. Like, this person that I see in the mirror and in these pictures is not what I feel is me. Like, it just, I was so disconnected. I couldn't get, I never grasped it. And so I'd set out on a diet, or I would, run around my block. That's all I could do. For a couple weeks. And that was it. But the day I looked in the mirror and I no longer recognized the person inside, there was nothing there. It was like, who is Kristi Youngdahl? I have no idea. I have no idea what lights me up. I have no idea what my dreams are. That was the moment that scared me. That was the moment where I was like, you know what? I know that God has a plan for me. And I know that He has taken away that light, so I would take these steps right now to improve my life so He would give it back. And that's what I did. I made a choice in that moment. I needed to come alive and I needed to start living my life.